What's going on, air signs? The creative, the witty, the perceptive, the air signs in the house. What's going on? I am Shakesha, and I am definitely doing a new thing right about now. I'm going to start doing these oracle readings during the full moon, during the new moon, and I've also added in some information on the moon that will assist us in navigating our energy. It gives us direction on how we can heal ourselves on an emotional level. The moon cycles are so important to us. And so this is why I'm giving our readings during these particular times so that we'll have better mastery of our energy. And I hope that's helpful for you. Now, air signs, let's talk about what message that spirit has for us, all about the choices that we have in our life. See, we start thinking that we don't have many options, right? And we start feeling like we are not empowered. And spirit is coming through with this card on the full moon in Scorpio, letting us know that we got to release the negativity. Because when we sitting back thinking like we ain't got no power, we don't have options, we don't have choices, that's another form of negative thinking. That's like feeling sorry for yourself. That's another low vibrational energy that prevents you from really stepping into your power and really being and doing the work that you came here to do. See, this is where your challenge is recognizing who you are, what the assignment is, what you came here, what this is all about. See, spirit is letting you know that you fell in to surrender to the divine. See, this full moon card right here is letting you know this is what's not happening, right? This is what's been challenging you at this particular time, where you thinking that you're disempowered and things ain't working for you, where you holding these negative thoughts up in your head, right? When you release to the divine, you start to recognize that you do take the commander's seat. You do have control of the situation that's ahead of you. And you begin to control those things that you can, which is where you are and where you stand, and leave all of those other things that you ain't got nothing to do with, that you can't control. You leave those by the wayside. But when you start gaining that mastery over yourself, this is when you start stepping into that judgment phase, where you really start to realize, where you really get into that space of self-actualization, where you really begin to know who you are. And you start saying, ho, I'm not going for that. This ain't happening. Hold up, I can do this and that, but not the other. You understand where I'm saying? This is where the challenge is. But when you surrender to the divine, you start becoming sharp and in tune with your star player. You got that spirit of discernment. Your intuition kicks in. And so you already know, you're already in tune what's going to work for you and what's not. And you ain't afraid to tell somebody something that just might disappoint them, because you know you're not doing it to harm them. You're doing it because this is exactly where you are. And you have to take the commander seat in your life. That's what self-actualization looks like. When that happens, you're going to be in this space where you go celebrate life. You go give thanks in this world, right? Because when this Knight of Wands comes up, this is all about making sure that you're celebrating and living in victory, right? But you can't do that if you're thinking that you're disempowered and you ain't got no options and everything. There ain't no celebration in that, huh? But when you start to recognize all of the control, all of the power that you truly do have that's within you, this is when you start to shift your frequency, where you start to really celebrate life, because you ain't got nothing to be mad about. What the hell is you mad for, right? What is you frustrated for? What are you afraid of? What's holding you back at this particular time? You got plenty of things to celebrate. But what you got to do, you got to bring love into the situation. And so when this new moon in Aquarius comes through, this is letting you know that you got to shift into a new frequency. And when you rise up to this frequency of love, you bring in love into the situation where you celebrating your life. And you ain't got time for the foolishness that's down here. You ain't feeling like somebody is taking advantage and you overwhelmed and you in a situation that you can't get out of. You ain't on that particular vibration because it's low vibration. You have risen above that and you realize that you control how that shit goes, right? And so you telling them, hold up. Wait a minute now. I can't do that. That don't mean I don't love you, but it ain't going down. Commander C, what I'm talking, huh? And when that happens, you start on the tape, this Queen of Wands energy. And I know this is an energy that's a little bit different, right? But this is that fiery, that confident energy where you ain't here to take no shit from nobody and play no games with people. And you say what you mean and you mean what you say. And you ain't playing these games with folks no more out here, right? See, this is a time right now for you to begin stepping into that energy. And when you do, that's when that full moon in Libra comes through with that win-win situation coming through on your forecast, where you start to be in that place where you speaking up and you showing up for yourself. And now you're be in this place where you're better advocating for yourself, right? And so now you can come to the table and negotiate some things that are fair for you instead of feeling like you're a victim to whatever in the hell crumbs get thrown off of the table. It don't work like that all of the time. See, with this work that you came here to do, you start feeling some type of way. You maybe not so confident in all of that, right? Because maybe you feel like, they may know a little bit more than you, and this is why I don't have the power that I have. But see, practice is what makes perfect, right? Because when you polish your skills and you practice regularly, don't nothing build your confidence up. Don't nothing build that gangster up like doing that shit routinely. And when you practice and when you start building your skills, this is when you start getting your ace card right here. This is the G card thing, right? Because you're doing this work, knowing this work, making it a routine, practicing regularly. This is how you improve. This is how you get better. This is how you get gangster. And then ain't nobody gonna come over there telling you nothing about how you do what you do. You open to hear what somebody else is talking, right? You want to grow, you want to expand, you want to build on what it is that you already got, but they ain't gonna talk to you like you don't know what in the hell you doing, because you absolutely do. Don't you allow nobody to take the commander seat no more. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, because a win-win is on the outcome. And when you do that, you get into a place where you will be open enough and confident enough to give relationships a chance. You start finding those individuals, because now, see, you in this place of victory. You celebrating life. You ain't taking shit from nobody. You doing the damn thing. And now you can give relationships with people around you a chance. And you ain't sitting around giving everybody the side eye or making or feeling like somebody is out here to take advantage of you in these streets, because you are firm and on your square. And now you are in a space where you're open to have authentic connections, not those surface connections where you sit back and you talk about absolutely nothing at the end of the day. You have no expectations and there's no true connection that's going on. It's just a casual relationship. I'm talking about these true connections where people will show up for you, where people will ride alongside with you, where people will assist you in achieving your goals, those that are like-minded. See, and when you get yourself into this space of stepping into your true authenticity, who you truly are, taking the commander seat, standing up for yourself, showing up for yourself, check out that validation of the moon. This is when you step into these win-win outcomes, where you're connecting with folks that will support you, that will help you, that will assist you, because this is a time to partner up. And this is a time for you to start clearing out all of that fake ass, phony ass relationships that you got, all them surface bullshitting ass connections, and start really making real ones. So now you ain't got to ever second guess what your position is in this life. That's what happens for you. But I'm going to let it go right there. I ain't gonna burn your ear off. Definitely check out that Validating the Moon. And if you get a minute, come on down to the Serious Cipher on Clubhouse and build with us. We going there. I promise you that. But we taking it from a mystical approach. Peace and light, peace and love, air signs.